Today, episode 149, it's Launch Your 2021 VIP Coaching Program, part one. There will be multiple parts. I want you to understand where you're at in your business, because if you're not in the right place in your business, this may not be for you. And I also want you to have some understanding that, yeah, you are in the right place if you are. So you'll know by the end of this slide whether this is going to apply to you or not. So there's three phases that we actually came up with for the experts that we serve as Twain Social, as a software company. You want to see where you fit, because we actually built this training, or I did this morning, and over the last few weeks, really pull stuff from what I do with different clients, but based on the ideal market that we serve. So want to see if you're the ideal market. If you're not, then you may go, that's why things might not make sense, but I think most of you are. So these are three phases of an expert. The first phase is a learn phase. That's when you're first getting started. Let's say if I was a fitness instructor and I'm not quite an expert yet, but I know my stuff and I've always been an amateur kind of trainer and kind of a nerd about it. I would say that as a compliment, but I'm not quite an expert yet. But you have a passion for something. So fitness is that thing I'm passionate about, but I'm not really an expert yet, but I want to learn out loud. And that's a strategy we teach. If you're in this phase, don't wait till you're a full-on expert. Start sharing stuff. This is probably the first time the blueprint does not directly apply to you. This is where I would say start nurturing people by sharing stuff. Leverage experienced experts. Maybe interview some experts in the industry that your friend or could start learning from, and guide others on their journey as you're going through your own journey, right? I mean, maybe I'm not in shape, which is actually I'm not right now, so that fits. But you're maybe sharing your story of your journey, right? That's one way to learn out loud. So if you're in this phase, completely in this phase, this is not for you. However, if you're very close to the next phase, I'd say this would be your way to enter the next phase by following the training we're going to go through today. And that's what we call the earn phase. That's when you start earning some substantial income with your expertise. And you have a proven expertise. You probably already helped a few people. Again, if you're borderline learn and earn, then you're in. You're good. But if you're very early in the learn phase, this may not work for you. And that's just a warning, right? But earn is you have a proven expertise. You have helped people. If you're that fitness expert, you've had some clients, you've gotten some results, but you want to increase your cash flow. You want recurring income for more qualified clients. You want to start a high ticket group coaching or mastermind or support group. That's what I'm going to help you do today or this next 4 weeks. So you're definitely in the right place. I'm going to show you something called the high ticket recurring income pyramid today. And that's going to start making sense as to the parts that you need to start building for your own business. I'm going to try this. I'm pretty excited. I'm just reading this and knowing I'm visualizing so many people I've actually helped one-on-one that are really on this next second phase earn. If that's you, stick around. Stick around. If you can't, if you got to run somewhere, don't remember to watch the replay, because this is exactly meant for you. And again, if you're sort of in that middle between the two, I want you to also stick around. But if you're really a newbie, you just woke up this morning and said, hey, you know what? I think I want to be a horse trainer. I've really enjoyed it. Probably not for you yet. But if you're really ready to really produce results for people, then definitely this is for you. Now, the next phase, which is where I want you to get to, is the scale phase. And that's really where your business starts to scale. If you want to be there and you're not there, then this definitely will help you go in that direction. So this is where you repurpose everything you learn with clients, with one-on-one or group coaching, and you launch a paid membership. So I am going to help you move closer to that scale phase through this training, and we will talk about a paid membership. And that membership is really what's going to help you scale. You can teach something to one person, 10 people, 1,000 people, or 10,000 people with the same amount of effort, and charge everyone a reasonable fee. You could definitely add a community at that point, and you could trickle down your content from high ticket clients to your community, so you don't really have to reinvent the wheel. So those are the three phases. If you, like I said again, if you're right in the middle in that earn phase and that's describing you, you're in the right place. And if you're closer to the scale phase, but you haven't quite figured it out, you're also in the right place. If you're learn, but you're approaching the earn, you're also in the right place. But if you're fully been scaling your business for years, this will not make sense. If you're just getting started with an expertise, this will also not make sense for you. And I wanted just to clarify that so that you know, hey, I'm in the right place. And I think most of the people we talk to are in that space and right in the middle. And that's where this is going to make sense. So this is going to help you even identify where you're supposed to be In that phase, again, going through learn, earn, and scale. If you notice that in this, what I call the entrepreneurial journey roller coaster, and this is your timeline between passive and active income. But this is a scale between passive and active income. Passive meaning income that's more scalable, that you can create once and sell it to a bunch of people, and you don't have to really do more work every time you get a new client. Active is more one-on-one work. And so that's what that means. That's one scale. And the other one is a timeline, right? So you start with the learn phase when you're starting to figure it out. And your first job is to try to become that expert and enter the earn phase and get some experience. And again, most of you will be in this space, but your income's very active. It will take some one-on-one time from you. So it's not fully scalable yet, but it should be substantial income. And that's the goal, is to create that right now. The next phase is a scale. I mean, when you're going down a roller coaster, that's when it becomes a little more fun. And that's where you start really selling the formulas that you learned in this earn phase and scaling your business. And then after that, once you said, hey, you know what, I'm a fitness trainer, I've figured out how to attract and serve clients online. Now I think I'm going to help other fitness trainers, as opposed to just helping people with fitness. Now I'm going to be more of a business coach because I've done it. I know how it works, and I can help others. Then you're starting to sell the recipe, and the whole ride starts over. So that's something to keep in mind of what you think things are supposed to happen, and they're going to happen in this order. If they don't happen in this order, you're probably going to fail. There's very few of any exceptions to this rule. You're going to ride this roller coaster. Just buckle up and ready to have some fun and be patient with it. The next thing, which is the exciting part, they're all exciting, but anyway, there we go, is high ticket recurring income pyramid. This is the pyramid. I know it sounds like a bad word, but some pyramids are good, that I'm going to help you create over the next 4 weeks. That are really your building blocks to that, not only the earn phase and start earning substantial income, but also entering into the scale phase. That's going to help you create that dream online business that's going to fund that dream lifestyle. Yep, substantial and sustainable income. That's the goal. And it starts with, at the top, it starts with you having one-on-one clients. And that's really private coaching, private or coaching or consulting, or personalized or individual coaching, as you may want to call it, those one-on-one sessions. That's where you customize your training to each client. And that's where some of the formulas become apparent. I've done a lot of that. I've done a lot of one-on-one coaching. I've helped people launch their programs in the past. And I customize things for clients. But formulas do start becoming apparent. These last 3 slides came from those appointments, right? So that's where you start saying, well, I keep drawing this pyramid on the whiteboard, or I keep drawing this diagram. You know what? I think I'm going to turn it into a diagram, into a slide. And I think it's going to make sense. The next step is group coaching or mastermind or support group, really small group coaching. And that's where those formulas in group sessions have very limited personal attention, but where the formulas are really defined. When people start talking amongst each other and say, hey, you know what, that diagram that he drew or that she drew for us or share with us, that really made sense, or it didn't make sense. And I think, could you explain it this way for us better? And in those sessions, that's where really things start getting more defined, more polished, which prepares you for the next phase, which is what I call premium paid memberships. And I call them premium paid memberships because these are not the $1 a month ones. I say anywhere $15 to $30 a month. So they're not, or higher. They're not $1 or $2 a month. You're really going to provide value. So that's why I call them premium. And that's where your formulas that that became apparent in one-on-one coaching, that you define better with group coaching or mastermind, that's where you're really going to sell them. And that's when you're fully scalable and you're really starting to enter that scale phase. That's exciting. I'm going to tell you, though, what people do is they make this mistake of trying to skip the top 2 parts of the pyramid and say, I'm just going to go straight to paid memberships. I've never done one-on-one work. I've never done group coaching. And most of the times they fail because they really haven't validated their formulas or the resources of their training with enough people to know that it's going to work. So it's not going to scale. It's not going to grow. Not a lot of people are going to consume it because it's not proven. And there's some exceptions to this, but very few. I mean, if you've been training offline or helping people offline for 20 or 30 years and you've never done anything online, but you have that offline experience, there may be an exception to that. But for the most part, I would still start with building the top of the pyramid and then adding the different parts. And again, like I said, that's what I'm going to help you with next. And the first part of that is the structure of the program. I'm going to teach you today how to structure a program that includes all three at once. Okay. So that's what is going to help you get through this phase a lot faster and a lot more effectively with a lot more case studies, because you're going to do it all at once. And it actually works. I've had people do this. It makes sense. I didn't pull it out of thin air. It's been proven. And I'm actually in the process of helping someone launch one right now. There's two people going to launch this in January that I'm helping with. One of them is a hypnotherapy expert, and the other one is a dog training expert that's more on the recipe side now. She's helping other dog trainers as well. So we're going to launch something, two programs that I'm personally involved with in January, and I hope some of you actually launch yours as well. So I'm going to show you the shortcut to this, and the shortcut is to split it. You're going to do all three, and here's what you're going to do. So that one VIP coaching program is going to include some individual time with each person that enters your program. And that's 1 to 4 sessions per month on a video call. And they could be 45-minute calls. Usually that's what I recommend. That way, like if you schedule them back to back, you schedule them an hour apart, and it gives you 15 minutes to breathe a little. And depending on how intense they are, you may need some time, I don't know, at least to grab some quick bite or something. So I do recommend them being about 45 minutes, unless it really does not make sense. Then go ahead and make them 90 minutes if they need to be. But 1 to 4 sessions, whatever you think is going to be effective, where it's going to make a difference for them. If you think, there's no way one session is really going to make a difference, it needs to be 2 or 3 or 4, then you decide that, depending on your program or what you're teaching in your audience, what do they really need? So your goal is to help your client discover challenges, and that's a typo there, develop an action plan. That's your goal for these individual calls, because you're going to go deeper. And I'll show you in a second how you're going to go deeper than this in the group part of it. And start identifying patterns of challenges and pain points. So if you have 10, 15, or 20 people in this program on your first program, then your job is, as you help different clients discover those challenges and develop action plans, you're going to start seeing patterns. Hey, I think, it looks like 9 out of 10 are really struggling with this part. Okay, you got to start noticing that. Or it looks like there's 3 things that most of them are struggling with, even though I cover 5, but 3 of them are really important. And maybe a sub part of number 3 is really, really critical. Start noticing that. So this is where your clients start paying you, because that feedback of working with them helps you identify those patterns, right? And I'll show you in a second the next part where that's important. The next part of it is, so if this was individual, was personal coaching or consulting, the next one's really the tribe. Tribe is not, some people confuse the 3 words, tribe and community. The 2 words, but tribe it's small. A tribe is not 1,000 people, right? A tribe, it's a small, intimate group. It's not a lot of people. So it's part of your program is your tribe component. So that small group video calls, that's the tribe part of it. And that's 2 to 4 calls per month. And you can use Zoom, or you can use, depending on how many people, I think StreamYard, you can use, I think it might be 10 or 15 people at this point. That's what I would include, 2 to 4 calls, group calls per month. And like I said, depending on what you think they need to be effective for them to grow, then you decide how many of those calls you need to include. And what are you going to do in those calls? It could be training. And guess what? It's going to be training that the group needs based on your one-on-one meeting. So if you're doing 2 calls a month, it may be worth doing them like the second week and the third and the second week and the fourth week, because the first week you're going to have the one-on-one calls that helps you decide, what am I training next week, right? And if you have some experience, you may already figure this out. You may not need to do this. But I'm going to say is that even if you've never done something like this, you can develop the program as you go. The group's going to help you determine, what am I supposed to train next week? And you don't have to guess. It's based on what they were struggling with. I know you're going to meet with them individually, but you're going to start seeing some patterns of what they're struggling with and that they need the most help with. And that's how you're going to develop that training. And that's could also include some Q&A time, obviously, some accountability. You can sort of ask them to commit to something that they're going to work on, make some progress on, or complete by the next call. So you can have some group accountability. And accountability seems so simple, but believe me, it's actually underrated. I mean, there's times I've been in parts of programs, and one of the things that pushes me to actually get something done is I know I'm going to be on a group call, and I don't want to say I didn't complete what I committed to. So they do work. As simple as they may seem, accountability does make a difference for them. I would assign homework, and I'll tell you in a second where that's going to fit in and connect to the next part. I would definitely assign homework at, if not every call, almost every call. And yes, like I said earlier, utilize the patterns that you learned from the one-on-one sessions to develop that customized training for the group calls. And so that's where they all fit into it, and that's part of the shortcut. That's what's going to help you really speed up. You're going from entering the earn phase all the way to scaling your business, because every part's going to feed off of each other, right? You're not, yes, you're including 3 parts to this whole VIP program, but they're all leveraging each other, right? The individual time helps you come up with training for the group calls, right? So that's important. And you assigning them homeworks is also important. I'll tell you why in a sec. That's the community aspect of this. That's the membership part of it, okay? So you're going to include all this together, but that's something that I'm going to talk to you in our next week. I'm going to talk to you about how, actually maybe week 3, I think, but how you can break that off and how that can be an individual component that a lot more people can jump into. So eventually, right now, I just don't want you to worry about it, but right now, think that this component is going to be self-sustaining at one point, whether it's immediately or in the future. You're going to sell this part, the community part, by itself. And this is going to be scalable, because you may have 15, 20, 30 people in your tribe that you're coaching, but you may have 500 people in the community. But right now, don't worry about that. Just assume, hey, it's just going to be my 20, 30 people that are going through my VIP coaching program. And I'm also going to include a membership component, which is going to have a Facebook group, which is the community aspect of it. And I may include training, recorded or live videos, which are different than the training that I'm going to do in the group calls, because in this membership part of it, they're going to be consuming content just like you guys are now. It's a live video, and they're part of the audience. You guys can ask questions if you want in this training, whether live or recorded, but you're not going to be in the panel. So they're going to be very different than the training calls that you do in the group calls, right? It should be a little more watered down. It should be the basics. And what you may want to do is say, hey, you know what? I'm going to create one training a month in the community, in the membership, that's going to be an overview of what I'm doing the whole month with the private calls. And you can actually ask your group, your VIP coaching clients to attend those to prepare for what you're going to work on the whole month. So that's kind of how they'll flow together. And you're going to go deeper into each topic with them on the group calls. Some resources that you want to share into the community. Maybe you want to do some challenges or different things, normal things that you normally done. And if you want to look for more ideas of what to include into membership, we've had it in previous lives. So you can definitely look more ideas of what to include with a membership. But here's where this one connects with the group aspect of it. You're going to ask your clients, right, your VIP coaching clients, to share their homework or parts of it into this community. And this is something that a lot of people forget to do, but it really helps out. So initially, you may have most your VIP clients may be the only ones in this membership, but eventually, if you have 30 people in your VIP coaching group and 500 people, let's say, on your membership, when they see that what your VIP coaching clients are creating, they're going to have what's known as FOMO, fear of missing out. They're going to go, you know what, it looks like they're really growing, or that person's really growing in that VIP coaching program. I want to be part of it. So it's going to help you with upsells, right? That homework assignment is not just for those VIP coaching clients to have a place to share. It's also to entice the regular people who are just members, they're part of the community, they're not part of your tribe, to actually upgrade and join your higher end program. So that's going to help you. So that's why the 3 are connected, right? What you learn on a one-on-one sessions is going to help you develop training for the group calls. And what you assign as homework on the group calls is going to be shared to the membership group. So they're all kind of structured together, but you could split them up. And I'm going to show you how in over the next 4 weeks, how this could make sense. Here's what I'd like for you to do. Watch the replay of this a couple times. Start thinking, how do I structure my class? How many sessions am I going to include? What am I going to train on? What am I going to teach? What can I offer my membership? Start thinking about, don't go into detail, but at least for now, your challenge is to start thinking about, what are these components am I going to offer for the one-on-one sessions? Am I going to do 1 a week? Am I going to do 4 a month? How am I going to structure the group calls? I'll go back to it. Am I going to do Q&A accountability? What could I assign for homework? Start thinking about all these little things as they apply to your business, because everybody's different. So I can't give you the exact answer, but get ideas and start structuring. What is this going to start looking like? Same thing with the membership. What am I going to include with the membership? Yes, there are three levels, right? Individual, tribe, which is small group, and the community. What am I going to include with all three? And we're going to, with this training, I'm going to help you launch all three. That's the idea. And you're going to expedite your growth from earn all the way to scale.